Hey guys, this is Barbie Kalev, and I am flippin' compelled to make a video right now. Stop, drop, and roll. I just got out of Whole Foods, and I want to talk about dreaming and what is possible, and also to share my story because I assume that people know my story, but it's not possible, right? Since I have X many people, for example, following me on Facebook, a lot of people just assume things about me, and where I came from. And the reason that I'm saying that is I met this beautiful woman today who, I said something, I made a comment about vitamins. I asked her if she knew about Beachbody because I think she asked me what I do for work. I don't remember how it came up, but I said, have you heard of Beachbody? And then she said something about the vitamins, and I said, oh, I think they're only like 50, 60 bucks. And then she said, that's a lot of money for someone like me. And, one day I will be able to, and in her comment of one day, and she kind of laughed, I sensed, and if I'm wrong and you're watching this, I'm sorry, but I sensed this kind of disbelief in her own voice. And I said something like, you don't know my story, and I'll have to tell you my story one day. And I wanted to say, because when you meet someone and they say something, and we all have assumptions, we all make up stories in our heads about what the other person is like. And I could see that the other girl was looking at the rock on my hand, and I think we make up stories about people, and what they're capable of, and where they're from, and what they've always had. And I wanted to say, oh, I lost my train of thought, but I wanted to say was that, sometimes you want to say something to someone that you've just met, but you can't just like vomit on them. Hey, by the way, I grew up on public assistance and this, and then I had a dream and I knew that I could be something better. And this is my story. That is actually part of my story, right? I did grow up on public assistance when we moved from Ecuador to the United States with my mother and my brother. We were on public assistance forever, probably till I was in college, and I was part of the Educational Opportunity Program, which paid for my schooling, because I was it wasn't even a scholarship. It was because I was poor and my grades didn't even have to be that high. And politically, you can think whatever you want about that, right? That's a different topic. But the truth is that I am a product of the public school system. I know exactly what it feels like to pay with food stamps and to see my mom paying with food stamps. And that's why I worked so freaking hard. And I just got emotional, which is fine. And whoa, that surprised me. And that's why I worked so hard when I was in high school, not in high school, in college. And I graduated with a 3.98 because I thought that having, a high GPA and then getting a college degree was the way out. And the reason that I pursued my PhD in French literature, out of all things, and out of all things, yes, because I wanted to distance myself from my past so much, and so I chose something that was so like out there, I didn't really know or care at the time. I think that the job market wasn't great, even though I did find a job. I did find a job as an assistant professor at Southern Methodist University, but even so, I had $94,000 in debt, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. And so my situation changed when I became a Beachbody coach, and it took years. I saw someone post a few months back when my husband congratulated me on being an elite coach, and some guy said, oh, it must be easy when you're married to the beast. But I had been an elite coach for 6 years, I think 6 years, no, like 5 years before I even met Sagi. Like I had already made my success as a Beachbody coach alone, way before, years and years, 6 years, 5, 6 years before I met Sagi, and, again, people make all these some sort of assumptions. Sagi came from nothing, from a little town, and you know, he had to sleep in his car and eat rice and tuna and beans because he couldn't afford anything else, you know, and would sleep in tanning beds because he didn't have a place to sleep. So, you know, everything that we have today, and right now I'm speaking as myself, right? I'm not speaking for him, but I'm speaking as myself, as a coach. I have because I worked my ass off, and I want you guys, whatever your situation, whether you're interested in coaching or not, like that's besides the point right now, beside the point. I want you to dream. I want you to believe that something else out there is possible, that something greater awaits you. And you know, in this person's case, you're young. Whatever that dream is, I wanted to tell you all these things. If you're watching this, I wanted to tell you all these freaking things in that moment, and then I couldn't, right? Because I would have just vomited. But I wanted to tell you that, you know, that you don't know my story, and now you know a little bit of my story. And I want you to dream, and you can make anything freaking possible, and don't make assumptions about where people come from and what they've always had, because you just never know, you know? So dream big this Saturday, dream big. And now I already have a cold. Now I'm more snotty because I'm all emotional. But okay, have an awesome weekend, you guys. Keep dreaming. Bye.